So today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite finds out there. It's called Common Curriculum. Now, as a teacher, this particular app or website is gold. Number one, it's free for basic usage and it's free for lifetime. And I'll show you guys where it reads that, so you can create an account and grandfather yourselves in before they get rid of that free version for a lifetime. So why do I love this? Well, one of the biggest things in creating the best lessons is being able to plan for these particular lessons, right? So if you don't have a grade book per se, this is the best thing out there to create your very own grade book that at the end of the year you can download and give to your principal, and all your lessons are there. And what's even best is that it works automatically with Google Classroom. So being a Google Classroom user myself as a teacher, this meant the world. So let me show you how to create a lesson plan, and then I'm going to go into the one that I started so that you can see. But anyhow, this is your basic account. This is if you want to upgrade, create a school so your school could have complete access, or so your district. That's something else. We don't want to do that. But right here where it reads create a plan, this right here allows you to create future plans, or you can go back and forth between other lesson plans that you've created throughout the years. So I'm going to click on create a plan, create a new plan, right? And right here is where you would name it. So I'm just going to have it default to my awesome plan book just for the presentation. And I'm just going to click on create my plan book. Now, very important, if you're one of the schools that has block scheduling, rotating scheduling, they actually have that option that you can shuffle your stuff around a lot easier than if you, a lot easier than having to create templates for something like that yourself from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to click on create my plan. And automatically it starts with the week that you're working on. So, and the next thing we're going to do is select what am I going to teach. Am I teaching elementary school, or am I teaching physics, technology, or different classes each day? So it gives you that option. So I'm going to click on next, right? And when you click on next, it starts you off with adding your classes. This is where you would write, if you're an elementary school teacher, language arts, math, science, social studies, or if you're a high school teacher, regular algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, tech. This is where you would create those given classes. Because I am an elementary school teacher at heart, I am going to select add class, and this is where I would start titling my class. So I'm going to start with math, then I'm going to start with okay, or I can, whatever you want to call it, if you want to call it reading, language arts. Now, the reason I put it under reading instead of combining my language arts block with reading is because maybe I want to separate in this given class my reading groups. Like if I meet with a reading group on Monday and I meet with a different reading group on Tuesday, this way I can personalize the lessons for that particular reading group that I'm meeting with that given day. So that's the only reason I separated. You can do the ELA if you just have everything combined. I just did that for a way to show it. Then I'm going to go to science. And last but not least, social studies. Sorry about that. Social studies or history. Okay, once I've done adding all my classes, I'm going to select next, right? The next thing is you're able to shuffle your classes around, and you can turn off a class off and on. You can even add on a lunch in between as a card to separate between your classes. So it gives you that option. Another thing that you can do is while you are adding the names of your classes, maybe you would say math 8:45 to 9:45, and so when you look at your classes, it already has that set up. Okay, so add notes is where you would put like maybe your specials, and we'll go into that right now. So like if I come here and I say, okay, today we have STEM. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and now I can grab add note, and we have lunch. Right? Let's say on this given day, we go to art, music, oops, let me come here, music, physical ed, and media. Okay, I'm going to go to next. And now I am going to choose a given template, right? So my templates are, and I'll show you what they give you, okay? So it's telling you choose a template. I'm going to go to templates, and it gives you different templates that you can scroll through. I am going to go with, just so I can showcase that one, this particular one. It says big template with Google Classroom. So this way all my assignments and assessments can also be pushed out through Google Classroom, and they also could be found in my lesson plans. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. All right, so I'm going to select that one. I'm going to click on choose and next. Okay. Change or edit my templates, I could do that, but I am going to keep it. And got it, and I'm going to start. So automatically everything is on here, all my given templates. See? So now that I've created the different templates, I am going to show you guys how to go in, change the title, find your standards. Very simple. Okay, so one of the things, and I'm just going to pick science. Right, so I'm going to come here and I can write solar system. Let's say that I want to look for standard. I'm going to come here and search. It allows me to search what state my standards are from. So I'm going to scroll down to Florida just because that's where my home is at. And I can select whatever standards I'm looking for. If this is awesome, if you teach a gifted class, you have your gifted goals as well as there, which is so big because as a gifted teacher, I know that I have to include that in my lesson planning. Okay, and I'm going to scroll down to science, and I'm going to select 4th grade, right? And once I select 4th grade, I am going to go to Earth and space and time. So I'm going to talk about relate the rotation of the Earth, day and night, and how the Earth revolves around the sun. So I'm going to include these two because I'm going to be focusing or humming on those two objectives for my lessons for the whole entire week. And once I do that, I'm going to close and return to my lesson, and automatically my standards are there, right? So I can start adding anything and everything that I want, right, with a click of a button. So I can set up sign into my Google Classroom and post my homework from here, right? Everything I can do from here. Now, take a look at this, right? I can put there's no class, I can paste things, I can print or download, I can share the link for that given day. So if I want to turn in my link sharing, I can share this link for my daily lesson plans to appear in Google Classroom, or where, let's say you use Canva, wherever you share your stuff to. And now your parents can have access to everything you're covering that day. Your students can have access to everything you're covering that day. But what's best, and I'm going to show you in a little bit once I complete everything, you can add attachments of handouts. You can add links of different things that you want to be make sure that you include in your lesson plans, but in addition to that, that you have for your students to view. Okay, and up here, so you can share links, you can print and download your lesson plans for the week, you can do it for the day. Outline for your class. Once you have it completed, it gives you an outline of what you're covering and the mapping out your lessons and units. Okay, it actually allows you to map out your units, change the colors of when you cover something specifically as you start developing your lesson plans, which if you need to abide by whatever your district wants you to be covering at any given time, this is amazing because you can move your plans around and everything automatically shifts to your actual unit plans for that day. So this is incredible. Okay, let me show you what a finished and completed lesson looks like. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I added a couple of goodies here. Okay, notice how I named it Solar Systems. I have my standards. I have my student objectives that I want to be able to share. I have my procedures, right? And I have my assignment. Notice how I have, my students are going to be coding the solar system. So by them clicking on that given link, it automatically takes them to that coding activity where they're going to code the solar system. This is a 45-minute activity that they can use, right? I'm going to go ahead and exit from here, right? So if you notice, I'm able to include links, push it out to Google Classroom. This is a copy of what I have on my Google Classroom. So these are the directions as well as the link that the students are going to have. You have it on my lesson plans right here, but you also have it on Google Classroom. Okay, and I also went ahead and created one for Tuesday. I have my standards, right? I have my objectives, my procedures are on there, and I have a couple things, okay? One of them is a video. So by me clicking on the link, I have my link to my Generation Genius solar system activities for my students, right? I'm going to jump back over here, close it off. And then I also have the assessment that I'm going to have with my students, because assignments are not just assignments for the sake of assignments, but you also want to know if your students are ascertaining what you're trying to do with them. This particular assignment also comes in with, let's see, it also comes in with a actual project that my students are going to be working on. So they're going to build this particular project, then they're going to watch the video, and then the next day, and they're going to work on an assessment to make sure that they understand the concepts. I placed it here as a homework assignment, but I can get rid of it, and I can have an option of presenting it as a regular assignment or a regular assessment. And I'll show you guys that in a minute. If I click on add a card, add Google Classroom card, right? So I can come here and I can say, I'm going to add something. I'm going to add an assignment, or I'm going to add a short answer questions, which in this particular one, it was a short answer questions. So I placed it in the homework section, but you can quickly create new cards where that could be done. So it doesn't say homework. And if you want to delete a particular one, you can just hit the word delete and it automatically goes away. So I hope you guys enjoy this particular app as much as I did, and have a great afternoon.